Hello, welcome. Thank you for joining us on this edition of News 2. I'm Sandra Singh, topping our newscast. In a move that could be seen as a blow to the authority of one cabinet member in Governor Mapp's administration, the governor has decided to put his right-hand man over the Department of Sports, Parks and Recreation. According to Government House, it's not an uncommon occurrence. News 2's April Knight has details.
Governor Mapp is putting his second-in-command on top of most of the Department of Sports, Parks and Recreation. In an executive order signed Thursday, the governor gave Lieutenant Governor Osbert Potter oversight of pretty much every significant area under Sports, Parks and Recreation. These include sports and recreation facilities, sporting activities, the development of after-school programs, Olympic sporting events, athletic training programs, inter-island sporting events, and a fitness program for government employees.
This is not uncommon for governors who have lieutenant governors who are gifted in certain areas for them to lend that oversight and that talent.
According to Government House, the executive order is predicated on the knowledge, skills, and abilities that Lieutenant Governor Potter has in the areas of sports and recreation. Now, if the next Lieutenant Governor does not have those skills, the executive order can be repealed.
That is the next governor's prerogative.
Government House stressed that the move does not diminish the authority of the Commissioner of Sports, Parks and Recreation, in this case, Pedro Cruz.
Not at all, not at all. And instead of that commissioner having a direct line to the governor to make decisions, the governor has said, you know what, the lieutenant governor has a better handle on sports, park, and recreation and the facilities. Let him deal directly with commissioner about this.
Reporting for News 2, I'm April Knight.
And according to Government House, the executive order does not exclude the governor's prerogative to consult the Commissioner of Sports, Parks and Recreation directly and vice versa. In other news, Congresswoman Stacey Plaskett expressed her disappointment with the Republican House leadership's preliminary transportation bill recently released, highlighting the fact that the amount of funding provided to the Virgin Islands and the insular territories falls far short of the infrastructure needs for the islands. She said this bill is yet another example of the Republican-led Congress's unwillingness to address the real needs of everyday Americans and certainly the needs of territories like the Virgin Islands, whose economies have not recovered and require additional support. Here's more.
The $2 million increase in funding to the entire territories completely discounts the request of Governor Mapp and does nothing to move the needle in providing much-needed and long overdue funding for infrastructure development and jobs in the territory.
Turn our attention to police reports on Saturday, October 17th at 3:30 a.m. Avon Thomas, 52, of Estate 22, was arrested on Reimer Highway and charged with driving under the influence. Avon Thomas was arrested after he collided, police say, into a marked police unit and left the scene of the collision. He was stopped in the area of the Holy Family Church where he was unable to perform the field sobriety tests as instructed. Thomas was arrested and charged with driving under the influence, negligent driving, leaving the scene of an accident, and reckless endangerment. Bail for Thomas was set at $500. Officers received notification from the 911 emergency call center of a multi-car accident that occurred on Veterans Drive on Saturday. According to the report, 4 vehicles were involved in that accident. Vehicle number 1 was traveling from east to west in the inner or right lane of Veterans Drive, while vehicle number 2 was traveling from west to east in the inner or right lane. Vehicle number 2 made the right-hand turn to go into Frenchtown, and vehicle number 1 collided into the front left fender and tire of vehicle number 2. In an attempt to avoid the accident, vehicle number 1 turned left and collided into a parked vehicle, causing that vehicle to collide into another parked vehicle. The operator of vehicle number 1, whose airbags deployed upon impact, complained of pain in his left shoulder but refused medical attention. Fire service personnel were summoned to the scene in order to extract the driver of vehicle number 2, who was pinned inside of her vehicle and required medical attention. The operator of vehicle number 2 was transported to the Schneider Hospital for injuries sustained and was later identified as Dora Rampersad, 71, who was charged with negligent driving. Senator Kenneth Gittens is calling for increased marine patrol after a boating accident over the weekend left a group of divers returning from Puerto Rico injured. Gittens said while emergency responders sprang into action at the time of the calls for help, having personnel and vessels on patrol would shorten the response time and increase the chances of saving lives.
We have an increasing number of persons going back and forth between the islands of the territory by boat, which should show a need for patrol, especially between the islands of St. Thomas and St. John, where we have our ferries. The time it takes to ready crew and vessels and everything else following a boat accident could mean the difference between lives lost and lives spared.
The Coast Guard commissioned the U.S. Coast Guard cutter Heriberto Hernandez during a ceremony at the U.S. Coast Guard Sector San Juan last Friday morning. Captain Robert Warren, Sector San Juan commander, said the Heriberto Hernandez and the remaining incoming FRCs will significantly enhance our ability to counter the evolving safety, security, and law enforcement threats that face our region, and highlights the Coast Guard's unwavering commitment to the citizens of Puerto Rico and the USVI. Each FRC is named for an enlisted Coast Guard hero who distinguished him or herself in the line of duty. The DV Carina Casino and Resort on St. Croix finds itself facing more than $1 million in fees, but the amount is currently under dispute. According to the Attorney General's office, the situation has been persisting for more than a decade, and the time has come to address it. NEWS2's April Knight has that story.
Negotiations between the VI government and DV Carina on St. Croix are still ongoing. This, according to Acting Attorney General Claude Walker. DV Carina was recently slapped with licensing fines to the tune of $1.4 million in casino license fees, employee license fees, racetrack revenues, and interest on alternative investment taxes. Some $473,000 has recently been paid by the casino, $435,000 representing casino license fees, and some $38,000 for employee license fees. That's to avert consequences that could have included a prompt shutdown of the casino. But according to Walker, he did not threaten the casino with closure.
I have not made any threat to anyone concerning closing the casino. I do have powers under the statute to respond to matters where I believe there's non-compliance.
The amounts owed by DV Carina are still in dispute, according to Walker, until the results of an audit on the casino is released.
There's an audit that's still ongoing, and we have to, the audit may show other amounts that are owed. The audit should be wrapped up shortly. I have been told by the Casino Commission that the audit is very close to being wrapped up.
Walker, meanwhile, declined to release a copy of a letter dated October 9th in which the threat of a shutdown is supposed to have been included, according to a release from Treasure Bay VI, the parent company of DV Carina. Reporting for NEWS2, I'm April Knight.
And turn our attention overseas. Republicans in Washington are still wondering, will Paul Ryan run for Speaker of the House? A spokesman for the Wisconsin congressman says Monday there is no update on his decision. Ryan spent the weekend at home with his family, and his spokesman says the former vice presidential candidate looks forward to listening and speaking to colleagues this week. Lawmakers are back in D.C. this week after a week-long recess. If Ryan decides not to run, it's possible up to a dozen other candidates could jump into the race for Speaker. Outgoing Speaker John Boehner says he'll delay his resignation from Congress until a replacement is set. And keeping our eye on the economy, here's a look at the New York Stock Exchange with our Stock Market Watch. As we can see, everything's up. The Dow 14, NASDAQ 18. Coming up on NEWS2, highlights from Family Resource Center's Domestic Violence Awareness Recognition, an event, the 39th annual October Sunday Beach Jam that was held this Sunday at Magens Bay, plus World Food Day, the worldwide event designed to take action against poverty and hunger. We'll have some highlights. Welcome back. The West Indian Company Limited is announcing 2 port schedule changes for the week of October 18th. The Norwegian Getaway will depart the Sheldon Mali port at 10 p.m. on Tuesday, October 20th. Passengers will board from 7 p.m., but the gangways will remain open until the ship's departure. Royal Caribbean's Freedom of the Seas will arrive in St. Thomas at 7:45 a.m. on Wednesday, October 21st, and depart at 7 p.m. as scheduled. The ship will arrive earlier than usual because it will not call on the Bahamas due to the ongoing effects of Hurricane Joaquin. World Food Day, the worldwide event designed to take action against poverty and hunger, came to the UVI St. Croix campus on Sunday. Amid the intermittent showers, the crowd was addressed about the importance of local food production in battling hunger worldwide and in the Virgin Islands. The annual 4-H Super Chef competition showcased youngsters with outstanding culinary skills, and local vendors provided a variety of food, drink, and locally grown produce. All visitors were encouraged to take seedlings to grow their own fruits and vegetables at home. Well, following an extensive selection process on Sunday, E. Benjamin Oliver's elementary teacher Suzette Gomez-Smith was named the St. Thomas St. John District 2016 Teacher of the Year during a luncheon held at the Marriott's. Mrs. Gomez-Smith was among 4 nominees praised for her creativity and commitment to her students over the 29 years. Sharing the stage and spotlight were Antis George Birmingham, English teacher at CAHS, Joycelyn Brian Ledee, teacher at Joseph Sibley, and Monica Emron, the foreign languages chairperson at Ivani Dorcan High School. The St. Croix District Teacher of the Year will be announced at a ceremony on St. Croix on October 24th. St. Peter and Paul's Red Tie Gala was held on Saturday at the Marriott's Frenchman's Reef on St. Thomas, and many were in attendance as they honored Most Reverend Elliot Thomas Bishop, Emeritus Diocese of St. Thomas, the late Senator Lorraine Berry, and the late Mrs. Corinne Lockhart. The event included a dinner, music, and lots of prizes.
We call this time, it used to be called the Red Ball, now we call it the Red Tie Gala or Gala. And we honor people who have something to do with the school, including religious like Bishop Thomas, and then other people that, that have been instrumental in giving witness to our Christian education. So we are very thankful for this opportunity to be able to share this night.
In preparation for the Peace Rally Day concert scheduled for Saturday, November 7th from 2 to 10 p.m. at the Agriculture Grounds Complex, Senator Terrence Nelson is seeking poets, bands, sororities, fraternities, youth organizations, or entities providing youth services, and anyone who feels they can contribute to the cause. He's also seeking individuals, companies who are interested in making donations to assist. You can plan on attending the next planning meeting that's scheduled for Tuesday, October 21st in the Senate President's office located at the Legislature Building on St. Croix. Family Resource Center's Domestic Violence Awareness Recognition event continues this past weekend. The 39th annual October Sunday Beach Jam was held at Megan's Bay Beach, and there was some live music, raffles, plus many special guests. This is just one of many events held annually to encourage awareness and raise funds.
October Sunday has been around for 39 years, and it was started by Fred and Polly Watts. Fred passed away this year, and we are having this one specifically in his honor and in his wife's honor for being so vigilant in helping our agency with this event.
Also, don't miss Jessica Henderson's coming up gospel drama entitled In Her Shoes. Family Resource Center has partnered with this project focused on domestic violence and victory. That's October 23rd, 24th, 25th at 7 p.m. at the Rycole. It's free. An offering will be collected to benefit Family Resource Center. There will also be a panel discussion after each performance. And Family Resource Center Take Back the Night March and Candlelight Vigil that will be held on St. Thomas and St. John at 5:30, as well as St. Croix, presented by the Women's Coalition that begins in Christiansted. The VI Police Department held a national night out march against violence That march began at the Basin Triangle to the Canagata Ballpark. National Night Out events were held recently as well, and it's a nationwide community building campaign promoting police community partnerships and neighborhood camaraderie to make neighborhoods safe, better places to live. The local observance of National Night Out is funded in part by the Law Enforcement Planning Commission and the Virgin Islands Police Department. Well, earlier this year, children received backpacks with school supplies. There were different contests and prizes held. Family members of the VIPD Cadet Program volunteered along with the VI Chapter Tuskegee Airmen Youth Aviation Club. Well, using the theme, Live Smart, Live Positive, Live Drug-Free, the Virgin Islands Housing Authority will be holding the Red Ribbon Week Drug-Free Rally. That's on Saturday, October 24th. It's a march. It will include the Village, Virgin Islands Partners of Recovery, the Boys and Girls Club, the VIPD Crime Prevention Bureau, and much more. Begins at the Walter Hodge Community from 1 to 5 p.m. Now for vendors, the setup time starts between 11 a.m. to 12:30. For all participants of the march, you are asked to meet at 12:30 p.m. at the Boys and Girls Club in Frederiksted. Again, that event takes place on the 24th. Be sure to stick around. Your News 2 AccuWeather forecast comes your way next.